Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bus channel. I'm your host Terry, and we're gonna get right to it because I gotta do film today. Was not expecting an extra video, so it's gonna take time to do film. I gotta pick through it, but y'all lucky because I've been trying to go to the gym later when it's less packed, and I've been trying to fill the time after work. So hopefully, gonna try to get both of those done today. We will see. But anyway, we got Chase Claypool. Very weird to say. I thought there were other teams with better playoff hopes that were receiver needy and would probably offer more or something for him, but I guess not. Or I don't know what they offered, but we got him. So we give up our second round pick, which isn't guaranteed to be a high second round pick, but it's more than likely it won't be a playoff pick. So we give that up for Chase Claypool, who is also a second round pick. And at least the couple conversations I've had with people around the office as I've seen it and then looking on Twitter and whatnot, some people are mixed on it. And look, do the Bears need a receiver? Yes. Is this the market? Is this the receiver? I'm not convinced of that. Not at all. And so, is the compensation right? Definitely not convinced of that. Did I need to give up Roquan? Not convinced of that at all. Now, the fact of the matter is, you could have gotten this without the Roquan deal happening. And I'm not in the building. But do I think for a second the Bears do this trade if they didn't have another second round pick waiting for them? No, I don't. Not at all. Not the way that we've been getting rid of assets. So it becomes a question of the Roquan part too, which essentially allows you to make this trade. Then you got to go to the question of Claypool himself. And so for me, look, Claypool's a number 2. Point blank, period. And I'm going to just let you know now, I'm not entertaining any of the comments at all because I listened to you all season tell me how Byron Pringle and all these other receivers was so great. Yeah, I think I'm going to trust my judgment on this. Claypool is not a number 1. What's a number 1? A number 1 is somebody that when they are the primary focus can still get it done. And Claypool has not done that and has not shown that he can do that. Juju Smith-Schuster was not a number 1, still not a number 1. He thrived as a number 2. Antonio Brown left and we saw what happened. Claypool was able to do some things around that group first year, second year. Not that the numbers were horrible or anything, but it wasn't exactly the same as far as targets when they started going to Deontay Johnson and everything. Now, because look, when AB left and Juju fell off and was injured, Claypool had every chance to be a number 1, to be the guy. And he hasn't been the guy around other receivers. So, in my mind, if you can't be the guy around other receivers, there's no way you can be the guy by yourself. And not saying that he's going to be by himself, but he's not a number 1. Darnell Mooney, I said before, not a number 1. So is it better to go in with 2 number 2s rather than a number 2 and a number 8 and 9? I'm sure it is. But is this the move that I had to make for that compensation? I'm not convinced of it. Now, if you were to take the Roquan Smith out of it, because that to me kills the argument. I already talked about that yesterday. I'm not entertaining this discussion. But if you take the Roquan part out and you look at just our pick, if we're a non-playoff team, high second round pick, you get into a lot of different things. We already talked about the caliber of the player, but you're talking about the position. You're talking about the draft. You're talking about other stuff. Now, one thing that I was hoping would happen, and which is what I did on Madden, is I got Calvin Ridley, and I was hoping he would make it to free agency because people were turned off by the suspension, potential longer suspension. And it seems like most people were pretty shocked that the Jags went and did that. So I don't think that was anticipated. But if you're just talking about caliber, I would give a high second round pick for Calvin Ridley. I'm not giving a high second round pick for Chase Claypool. And now we're talking about the draft and the position. As I said, I told y'all before, receiver is a dime a dozen type of position, similar to running back and tight end. Now, does that mean that there aren't top level guys? That's not what it means. Of course, you're going to have some outliers, but those outliers can be gotten from different places. And you can make an argument the receiver conversation is changing with kind of some top impact guys coming out, in the first round and have an impact early. But you still have a number of receivers in the league that were not top guys and continue to thrive as top guys now. So it all depends on what you're looking for. As a bona fide number one, I'm not saying that it's better I'm not saying it's as available in the second round as a first round. I'm not saying that. But as a top quality guy or number two, you could get that in the second round. And I don't know this draft class, that part is part of it too. But with a high second round pick, first of all, I'm probably not thinking receiver unless that's the only thing I needed. But if I was thinking receiver, we've seen you can get some talent there. And more than likely, high second round, there's other positions, premium positions that I'm thinking about. So would I believe that what we could get in this high second round compared to Chase Claypool is a match? I don't know. Look, because here's the thing. You got, what's his face? Bradley Chubb, top 5 pick, former top 5 pick, traded for a first round pick because he's had production at points and he's been producing this year. But you got TJ Hawkinson, top 10 pick, traded for a terrible deal in my opinion, but nowhere near traded for a top 10 pick. And so it doesn't matter where you were drafted. Just because Claypool is a second round receiver does not mean he is second round value as far as for trading. And so he is young, but he's not a first round pick, which means he doesn't have a 5th year option. He's in his 3rd year. So we get the rest of this year and we get next year, then we got to make a decision on him. As opposed to, obviously, you get a fresh receiver, then that's 4 years right there. So I don't see the big upside. You can, look, the fact of the matter is you could put Mooney in the slot before today. They just haven't really used him like that. So bringing in Claypool, does that magically mean you could put Mooney in the slot? No, not really. Is it more likely? Yes. But will they do it? We don't know. And I don't think Claypool necessitates that. But what I do think is that you bring him in, he's going to take away some attention. But again, what we've been doing, and I don't expect us to just shift now. What we've been doing we haven't needed 2 receivers like that. Because they're not going to get opportunities like that. And to say, wow, we got Chase Claypool, let's turn to the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know that's hyperbole, but I don't think that's smart, and I don't think that's what they're going to do. And obviously, people are talking about the future. But again, next year is his contract year. So I have to look at right now. I don't think we flipped the offense. I don't think it's smart to. And I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying I wouldn't want Chase Claypool, but this was not the move I would make. Not at all. And again, that is assuming that we have a top 10 pick, which we don't know. We don't know if that's what's going to happen. We are, I think, at like number 10 or 11 right now, but it's week 8. So we don't know where we're going to end up. And I haven't looked at our schedule enough to see if we have what type of schedule we have. But I would assume by the way we're playing, and most teams that we probably will play, we're probably going to end up with 6 or 7 wins. So we might be top 10. So if we have a top 10 second round pick, I mean, look, if you traded the Ravens second round pick, I would still feel some type of way because that would still be Roquan pretty much for Claypool. But at the same time, I would feel better knowing we have the more valuable pick in the second round. So, again, like I said yesterday, what moves are you going to make? What moves are you going to make with this capital? Are you going to draft? So now we got to hope the class is good. We got to hope you know what you're doing. Are you going to go out there and target, trade? So far, as I said yesterday, all we've done is sell. We haven't bought anything. But now we were buyers today. But again, it was like, who's going to be available? And I guess you could say Bradley Chubb. To me, he's not like an elite player right now, to be honest. So you look at that, it's not typical you're going to have like top-notch difference makers available. Now, if we traded that pick or first for Bradley Chubb, I don't know. Okay, that might be something. But again, he wants to get paid. So it's not like we got a good contract. It's not like, we got long-term control of the player. We're going to be right back in the same deal next year trying to figure out what we're going to give him unless they pay him right now, which, again, why didn't you pay Roquan? So I don't know, man. It's so many ways you could do it. And we did the poll. I don't know where it's at. It wasn't that many votes, but people saying it's a great addition. I don't. I know. I can't go great. Like I said, it's not bad that we have Chase Claypool. Not saying that at all. Not even saying he's a bad player, but I don't think this is a great addition, especially when you have to consider the context of what we had to give up to get it. So, for me, it is a little confusing. It is a little confusing. We still know the capital we have draft-wise going into the offseason. Now, will we trade that? We'll see. And we know the cap room we'll have. But as I said yesterday, we don't know what the market's going to be. And that's the thing. It's a lot easier to define the Roquan trade in the offseason when we know what is potentially out there. Right now, we don't know. We don't know who's going to get restructured. We don't know who's going to, trades is kind of done. But once the offseason starts, they might start trades back up. We don't know what's going to be there, who's going to make it to free agency. So right now, to me, it's kind of too far out to be so optimistic like some people, as in this automatically means anything. We don't know what Ryan Poles will do, and we don't know how good he is at his job. So so far, I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's incomplete because it's been enough time to have an opinion. So far, I lean towards, the middle with Ryan Poles, a little less, probably below average, because I don't like the philosophy of how they're building the roster. But, okay, so we got a new piece for this year. You do got a lot of the season left to develop some chemistry with Justin Fields and all that. So that might be good, but, I'm looking forward. And Chase Claypool at best is going to be a T. Higgins level impact. That's at best. And it ain't no confidence that Justin Fields or this O-line can get there. But that's at best. Even if I'm projecting to next year, he could be a T. Higgins type impact. And Mooney, we know, is a deep threat and all that, and he's great with the ball skills too. But I think you still need a bona fide number one. Even if you don't go for a bona fide number one, you still have so many problems on the defense, and you just opened up a new problem on the defense, and you got problems on the offensive line. So we'll see where they go from here. But no, I'm not one of those people cheering today about this move. I mean, just to say you got a receiver because you need a receiver don't automatically mean it's a great move. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious as to what people are thinking. I'm sure they're going to say something. But again, I'm not entertaining the how good Claypool is comments because I'm not listening to y'all. So anyway, go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.